Welcome to Blueprint at TradersPost for, no, let's start that over, okay? Well, my whole text is all wrong. Welcome, traders, to Blueprint at TradersPost for January 8th, 2026. I'm your host, Peter Hartman, part of the marketing team here at TradersPost, alongside Tom Hartman, your friendly neighborhood coder. This episode is brought to you by BluSky, the best-in-class prop firm that offers same-day activation, daily payouts, and no max restrictions. But we'll tell you more about them later. Today's stream will be going over the new Multi-VWAP Crossover Strategy inspired by Nick Jocelyn, the Mustang Trader, friend of the show. Welcome, welcome one and all. All my texts here got mixed up, Tom.
Do I get to talk now?
Oh, no, you don't get to talk now. No. As always, a quick reminder, everything we build here is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We're here to showcase what's possible with automation and not promise profit or predict your portfolio's future. All right, now you can speak, Tom. Now you can speak.
You know what? No. I'm not going to say anything. You do it. All right? I tried to give my little brother a chance to step up and just say something to feel a little bit more important.
Little brother.
That's how you treat me? That's how you treat me? People will never know, Peter.
Hey, Adventurer Trader, good to see you. Good to see you. I treat you the way you deserve to be treated, all right? Like the gum on the bottom of my shoe. Except today, Blueprint.
Completely different than what I thought.
You're pretty awesome here on Blueprint. What you can build. Although, I got to tell you, every day that goes by.
Nope. Don't say it.
The coding abilities of AI, Tom is going to be overshadowed pretty soon, all right? It's like one day we're going to have a robot made by Tesla, by Elon, that's going to do the dishes and take out the laundry and go to the grocery store and mow the lawn. And then my partner is going to look at me and say, what are you for? What are you here for? Really? That's how I feel about Tom right now. What is it that you're here for?
No. What you were used to is a coding environment before that was very much like when you needed to build a website between 1992 and 2000. All right. If you knew some HTML and a little bit of JavaScript, a little bit of CSS, it was just budding. You were a genius and you get $50,000 for a given website. Then as time went on, the websites became commoditized. But it didn't make the people within that space any less money. It's that you had to become more clever. You had to do bigger and greater things. The things I do on Blueprint to give to everyone for free, I'm glad everyone likes it. It is not the best I can do. It's in fact the worst I can get away with and still make people happy. That's like literally how I do it. The things I can do, the things that come down the pike, oh my God, you guys would be like, Tom is unbelievable. No wonder Peter had to change his host so that Tom could do greater and grander things. But
look, I want you to focus. I want you to focus on the good stuff. How it is. I should flip me. I should be the first person.
Yeah.
We got Ventura Trader ragging on us again here. Got a glass of bagged milk and ready to rock. We got bagged milk here in Canada. I don't know if you know about that, but we got bagged milk. The gift that keeps on giving. This is from Sander Azul. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I've been seeing the bigger and better things that Tom has been creating on the slide. And honestly, Adventure Trader said this, I think in Price Action Live, where he said, I guess it was because of Claude Code or something. The things that Tom can make now, like just regular indicators that he can just whip up really quick, is now much faster, much more capable now because of AI. So we are getting more from you than we probably would have. Like, I don't know if you would be doing what you're doing on Blueprint if you had to like code everything live on stream.
Yeah. I mean, when I started, I was coding everything by hand. It was fine.
That's true. All right. Look, the whole point here is that Claude Code is going to beat out my brother, and soon I'm going to have a life-size doll that looks going to look like Tom. It'll have Claude Code on it, like the logo, and then that'll beat my twin.
Hey, then I'll have a twin that I love, and you'll have a twin that you love, because we'll each have our own. It's fine by me.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Tom, what are we going to be doing here today? I read the Multi-VWAP Crossover Strategy. This sounds very familiar. You already have something like this, don't you? No, you
No,
don't.
this is a strategy that we talked about on December 18th, I believe, was the live stream that we did over the Christmas break, where Mustang Trader came into the chat and he reminded us, hey, this is the strategy that
Right.
he wanted us to create. And just a reminder to everyone, like, if you are interested in us making your indicator or strategy, just let us know. While we are small enough in order to get that information, this is the time to get your ideas in, because once we get big enough, I'm sorry, it'll be a service that you get to pay for. I mean, now's the time to get it for free. But Mustang Trader, friend of the show, he comes, he trades with us live on Price Action Live. Fantastic over there. He's a much better trader than me or Mike, and he also has his own stream that he does. So definitely go to on X to NJ Mustang Trader in order to check him out. And you can go on YouTube as well. But he has a very elegant trading strategy where he looks at multiple different VWAPs, and then he's looking for trades to take when the price confirms either a bullish or a bearish move, usually by crossing two of these moving averages. And it could be session highs, it could be overnight moving averages, it could be session, all that are different things. Now, I didn't touch base with him yet, and I'm going to send this to him soon for him to give his opinion as to how the strategy is working. But I'm trying to automate it, or I'm trying to provide tools for people to be able to automate that. So that's the script that we made today. Actually, if I just pull this up on the screen here, you'll be able to see it. And what it does is that it is plotting on the screen different trades that are being taken here on the 5-minute chart on ES. And if you see here in the settings, it allows you to choose to select the midnight VWAP. So that's the VWAP from the overnight session. So it starts at, it's anchored at the time frame change for the day. So at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it starts calculating the VWAP until the next 6 p.m. The previous day VWAP is this dotted line that shows up over here, and that is the closing price of VWAP from the previous day. We have session VWAP that is defaulted to the New York session from 9:30 a.m. To 4 p.m. Actually, I have to add the time zone in here, but that you can change that session to whatever session you want. So if you're a London trader, or Australian trader, you can change it. And then you have custom VWAP over here that is it'll plot the session. You could either just the session itself, so the same in the session VWAP. I added that there in case someone has a session VWAP for some other location, but then they want the session to be the chart session. You have the high and low. So right now, as you're seeing on the chart in purple, let me see if I can give you a better idea over here. So this purple line here is plotting from the high, from whatever the highest high, what the VWAP is from there, and from below what the VWAP is from there as well. So that adjusts throughout the day. And the idea is that when two of these lines are crossed, so you have the setting over here under for entry, when you choose what counts as the first plot cross, the first VWAP, you want to consider the second one. And then when, let's see here, the second one will be, let's choose a custom. Then when it crosses, so here, if you hover over the tooltip, you'll see here that same bar says, if the price crosses above it or below both lines at the same time, so both of the signal lines that you chose at the same time, then it'll enter long if it's moving up, or short if it's crossing down. Position says that if the price closes above or below both lines, so it doesn't have to cross at the same bar, but it does need to, by the time it crosses the second one, it'll enter the trade. And either would be either of those different options, and then you enter into the position. You can require that the line alignment is stacked in this particular way. So when enabled, line 1 is above line 2. For shorts, line 2 is below line 1. And then you can choose whether or not you want long or short, or if you want market limit orders. If you choose a limit order, it will then allow you to have an offset from that limit. And then finally here for the entry settings, we have single reversal or pyramid. So you can have one trade at a time. You can allow signals from the other direction to close the position out, or you can have multiple trades that happen. If pyramid is on, just make sure that you have in your properties that you're increasing the pyramid amount so that additional trades can be taken. So it's fun. I haven't tested it out to see what is the most optimal settings. That's for you guys to do, and then to tell me. So you guys are my let's call it real life large language models. You guys figure out what the best optimal settings are, and then you come and tell me, and then I run it on Price Action Live to see if it makes any money, and then I could tell you that it makes any money, and then you can go ahead and put your own money behind it. It's a nice circle of life here that we can set up. If you guys work with me, if you help me, help you, help me, help you, then we're both helped.
Adventurer Trader is impressed by what you've created there. This is badass, he says. Hey, Adventurer, watch your language. You got John Wage in the house who says, howdy, bros. Howdy. Adventurer is saying, oh, stop. John Wage is in the house. Tighten up, fellas. I got to button my shirt. I'm all casual here. This is not good. This is not good. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry, boss.
Yeah, I'm sure John really cares about your button there, Peter. Yeah, he's
look. He says if you don't feel like you're being slightly choked by a little kid there, then you're not doing your job. Oh, okay, there I go. Coder in chief. Well, Tom, how long did it take you to make that thing?
Okay, people have to stop asking me that question. Okay, it takes as long as it needs to take.
Well, I'm impressed. It looked really cool. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's nice. It's I don't track how long it takes. It's one of those things that you chip at over time. So from week to week, I have the project that I want to do for Thursday. Actually, I have several projects, and then whichever one is like pretty much done, that's the one I present. So, but it'd be hard for me to tell you the time for this because the second part that we haven't touched on yet is the extra quote unquote feature that I wanted to talk about, which is something you're going to be seeing in more and more of the strategies that we put out.
Sanders says the ideas are churning thanks to this one. Well, thank Mustang Trader as well. He's the one who he came into our previous stream over the holidays and he insisted. No, I'm pretty sure he was pretty kind about it.
That's not true. He was very nice about it.
He's very nice about it. But thank him. Okay, so you might not know exactly how long it took you to do it. You're chipping away at it. If you had to start from scratch, like not knowing anything, how long do you think? Basically, I want to know the difficulty level to create something like that.
Well, with PineScript Agents, which is what I use in order to do it, it's fairly simple. But I got to explain the second part here because the reason what we talked about here are just the entry conditions. Something that I've now added into PineScript Agents in the script that other people can just take and then make their own are these other settings. So global settings, basically, there's just constantly repeating these types of stop loss, take profits, trailing stops, trailing profit, break evens, all these things that are constantly repeat again and again and again. And I just wanted to have one holistic system that I could just plug this in, and this would handle all the exit conditions, the standard exit conditions that we're used to. And when I'm trading, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but when I'm trading, depending on the asset that I'm trading or my mentality, I don't always want the same settings. Right. So if I plug this in and let's say by default, I make the script so that you have you're using ticks for your entries and exits. So you're saying, okay, I'm taking 20 ticks of risk and I want to make 40 ticks of profit. Sometimes I don't want to do that, especially if I'm trading prop firms. Sometimes I want to know what is my P&L, what's the profit amount that I'm dealing with. So in the global settings of the script, you have a drop down for default units that can be used throughout the script where you can use dollars. That's just the normal one you're used to. What is the dollar amount difference? So, if it's $1 away, that'll be my stop loss. If it's $2 away, that'll be my take profit, whatever. P&L. This is what would be my P&L for my position if this position closes at this price. So if I choose P&L here by default, in my risk settings for my stop loss, here it says 1,000. Well, that means 1,000 on the global setting, which is the global setting we have up here, which means that 1,000. If my position will lose $1,000, then it'll close out the position. I don't have to calculate what are the point values on this chart or anything like that. $1,000, that's what it'll be. And if I switch this chart to a different time frame or a different asset altogether, it'll calculate $1,000 from that chart. You also have percent that you're normally used to if you want to choose percentage moves, ticks, points, or ATR. ATR is great here. If you choose ATR, the value over here for stop loss or take profits or any of these other issues will be the multiple. The multiple of ATR for that, which is fun because then you have a dynamic stop loss based on what is the multiple at the time. Let's see if I could show you here. I switch this to ATR and I switch this multiple to 1. Okay, that's too large. Because the take profit is too large. Switch it down to 1. Okay, so here we have an ATR of 1. Let's just zoom in. So you see here, Peter, how we have our trades entering. And so here, because the range, the candle is larger, the ATR increased, our stop loss and take profit is wider. And later on, when it narrows down, it gets narrower still. And if I were to increase this, let's say ATR 2, might be a little bit easier for you to see. There, easier to see. So you see when it's smaller, it's a narrower range, and if it's bigger, a larger range. So there were some strategies I was working with where sometimes I wanted that to be the case, and I love having that by default there. So you can set that there in the global settings, and then you can also override them. So let's say I want P&L in general, but for my stop loss, I always want this to be 20 ticks of risk. I can go ahead and do that. Let me change this back to 1,000. So I can set, I could change from the global value so that I could always have a certain specific set of ticks for my stop loss, but everything else works differently. So already just this alone is just like saves me a bunch of time. You can imagine just being able to copy and paste this within whatever strategy so that all you have to worry about is the entries and exits. Sorry, you all have to worry about is the entry conditions, right? Which is great to me. Now I want to go over a couple of these other features here, but how about we take a word from our sponsors, Peter?
Looking for a prop firm that actually plays nice with automation? Meet BluSky, built for serious traders. And with TradersPost, it just clicks. You connect BluSky inside TradersPost, route your TradingView signals to paper or funded accounts, and let it auto-manage entries, stops, and targets. You control risk per trade, filter by session and symbol, and pause or resume with a single switch. Every fill is easy to review in one dashboard. Funded accounts can request payouts daily with launch plans starting at $49. Get funded with BluSky. Execute with TradersPost. Apply today at blusky.pro, BLUSKY.pro, and plug in your edge. Trading involves risk. Use proper risk management.
Folks, there is a coupon code for BluSky. All right. What BluSky? 50% off launch plans. It's welcome 26. You get 50% off launch plans. This is limited to one person. Go ahead and pick that up if you were interested in that. I know Mike talked about on Price Action Live. He went and picked one up. Super
And
great
your first
deal.
time. Has to be your first time. You want to get one use of it. So use it and get 50% off your launch plan.
So if you've been thinking about checking out BluSky, now's the perfect time. It's 50% off, coupon code WELCOME26. 50% off, coupon code WELCOME26. Tom, in a moment, I'm going to ask you, in case you didn't say it or if I missed it, where I can get this multi-VWAP crossover strategy. But I would like you to remind people, I know if you have access to TradersPost right now, to show them where the indicators are and where your PineCode agents. I just want to remind people about this because it's a super cool resource. Do you think it's something we should check out?
Yeah, absolutely. So I haven't added it here yet. It'll be added in over the next couple of days. I want to just make sure that the features here are thoroughly tested. But you'll be able to get it inside of the TradersPost backend. So even if you're a free account, you can log into your TradersPost account, click on Accounts, Indicators on the left sidebar, and you'll wind up on this page, our library. And you have indicators, you have strategies, you have utilities, all available here. If you want to add it to your account, you just click on the TradingView button for that indicator, and then click on Add to Favorites at the top right. And when you do that, the indicator will then show up inside of your favorites dropdown on TradingView. By going to indicators, it'll be in your favorites. And if you don't see it there, just refresh your page and then try it out, and you'll see it there afterwards. If you want to use PineScript Agents, which is this Claude Code tool that I'm using in, if you haven't used VS Code, you can use Cursor, whatever ID you like. You can go ahead and get that by clicking on the View GitHub button at the top right of the indicator library, and it'll bring you to our GitHub post where you can then go ahead and download this and run it yourself. You just run it with Claude Code, and Bob's your uncle. You can generate your own scripts, your own strategies, your own indicators. No, we don't get any kickback from Cloud Code. We promote them out of the goodness and kindness of our own hearts. Are we against them advertising with us? No, but one step at a time.
Do I have to pay to get these indicators on TradersPost?
No, all the indicators are free. All the strategies are free. They're all free for now. I'm not promising they're going to be free forever, but they're free for now. So if you don't
Awesome.
get them now, ridiculous.
As always, a quick reminder, everything we build here is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We're only here to showcase what's possible with automation, not promise profits or predict your portfolio's future. So you can use those indicators, but your disclaimer is there, right? You can use them and build upon them. Maybe you want to make some tweaks. Now, if you have access to Cloud Code, which is only $20 a month for the basic plan, you can do a lot of things. And I think, look, if you're like a Codex person and you already pay for ChatGPT, you get some token usage with Codex CLI. I don't like it as much as Cloud Code, but if you got to start somewhere, you got to start somewhere. And you got to start somewhere. Folks, I want to tell you this. This is important. Blueprint is not just Tom flexing his muscle and showing you how good he is at building stuff. He's really good. It's to motivate you to get out there and start creating, motivate you to go and start doing things. I know here working at TradersPost that, like, not only TradersPost, this is just in the market for trading altogether. The vast majority of people who go into trading, they fail, right? I mean, it's an uphill battle. You improve your odds by getting granular, hands-on with the tools that you're using, understanding what you're doing, building things that are custom towards you. You got to figure out your style. And if you were intimidated by that in the past, now, especially with the tools like AI, Cloud Code, and things like that, or even just using ChatGPT to understand the market, understand the lingo, get an education there, you got to start doing it. So I want to remind you, and I'm going to be doing this week in and week out, look, get out there. If you've had an idea at the back of your head, you've got to go out there and start trying. And you have a very simple way you can start. Take the idea that's in your head and express it out to the great Tom Hartman. And maybe he'll start building it right here on the show. And you can start seeing and you'll be like, oh, that wasn't so difficult. He used words and the computer did what he wanted. Get started. Now's the time. And TradersPost is the Swiss Army knife of trading. I've built things. Okay, I'm a dummy. All right, Tom is up here with his IQ, and I'm like, I'm in the basement. All right, and even I'm building things that I'm impressed by using these tools, connecting it to TradersPost. I have this tool right here. I'm going to be doing a video about it at some point. I have this flip switch thing. I got inspired to build something like this because John said when we met in Michigan, he talked about one in the physical device, and I'm like that. I like physical stuff, and I saw this online one time. An influencer was showing it off, and I can flip this on and off, and my strategies in TradersPost go on and off. I set that up with Cloud Code. I can't write a lick of code, but I was able to build that. So get the ideas, like our friend Sanders says, the ideas are churning. Get to flowing, get to creating, and at the very least, reach out and tell us what you want. There, I said it. Tom. I made my piece.
All right, so I just wanted to show here the last exit settings for people to use. So we talked about stop loss and take profit, but some of the things that I use constantly is, depending on my strategy, I might want the strategy to take into consideration the current price at the time of the signal or the closing value, right? Sometimes it changes a little bit, especially if I'm using ATR. It might it depends on my signal. If my signal shows up in the middle of a bar before the bar closes, I might want to enter a trade right away. If I want to wait till the close of that candle, I might want to choose close. Back test range. Constantly, you're on a chart, right? And if you're put it on your back test range, sometimes it'll give you back test all the way to 2019, and you're like, okay, look, the strategy looks good, doesn't look good, but I don't want to run it all the way from back there. But if you're running the strategy and you're going to your back tester, if you normally, when you're in the list of trades, you can go and jump to any trade you want by hovering over that trade and jump into that trade, right? But when you change the date to some custom date, let's say change it to the last 90 days, I can no longer jump to that date. I don't know why. It drives me crazy. And it makes it so that it's hard for me to analyze what's going on the chart. So instead, inside of the script, you have an option for the backtest range where you can set your own specific start date and end date. TradingView has this weird glitch sometimes where the settings need to be reset. 1 second.
There he goes, blaming TradingView again.
It's TradingView's fault. It's not my fault. All right, there we go. So you have use backtest range where you can set your own start date and end date. And then you can also choose custom. So over here, you choose, let's say, the last 7 days, this month. It'll choose whatever month you're in. It'll go from the first to today. This quarter, so it'll be the first from the quarter till now. This year, the 1st of January till now, and so on and so forth. So and custom, obviously, you use the dates we have here. Wait, why are we looking like this? Oh, because I changed the settings from. I need to change this from dollars to P&L. All right. The next thing I wanted to show is, in addition to stop loss and take profit, I often want. I spent several years as a professional PineScript developer for indicators and strategies, and I have rarely seen a strategy that a trend strategy, not a scalping one, but a trend strategy that was not improved because of either trailing stop loss or trailing take profit. Rarely have I seen this, or even a break even. And so, but coding these things into your strategies can be annoying. If you ever had to do this yourself, deciding between strategy.exit functions or strategy.close, whether you want to close immediately, how you want all those to work together can be a little bit of a pain. So here it's done for you. It's already done. You just plug in your entries here and all that is all ready for you. So if you put back my screen on here, you'll see here that, let me show you an example for the trailing stop. Here I'm setting a trailing stop to, let's say, $500. Let's switch that to, so the idea here is that when the trailing stop is activated, once the price gets to this trigger, so let's say if it gets to $100 worth of profit, remember, it's using the setting here, the global setting. So once it gets to a certain amount of profit, here you can see, let me show a larger trade so it'll be easier to see. All right, so here the trade enters here at the long, and then when it gets up to a certain amount of profit, it will then trigger which is over here. When it got to that profit over here, it then triggered the trailing stop, and now the price is trailing by an offset amount. That offset amount is over here, by 250.
That's really cool,
right? Yeah, and you can see where that level will be. This red dotted line is showing you the level at which, if you hit it, that's where the trailing stop starts. Right? If you decide to do you can do for break even. This is another thing. Like sometimes the trailing stop's not enough. Let's say I get, so this trade is going, and let's say I get to over here, right? Well, my stop loss is still pretty much at my break-even price, at my entry price, right? But maybe I don't want to, maybe once I get to a certain amount of profit, I want to lock in some profit. So I can say here that when I get to a profit, let's say of $200, I want to lock in $50. Right? So now you're seeing here this yellow line here showing. So that's my break-even price. Once it gets over there, I have a new line over here, this yellow line that shows up. And now that's my break-even. If the price fell down to that level, and I could show you that by, let me just change the offset for the stop loss. Let's change it to 500. All right, so you see here, the trailing stop is below this yellow line. Well, when the price came down, I have a break-even now exit at that level. I get to lock in some profit. And as you guys just saw, let's say my stop loss, my trailing stop rises above that break-even, well, now that takes precedence while this guy is still here.
How does does exiting at a break-even leave you with profit? Is there something?
Because I have a break-even price over here. If I wanted to break even and I wanted it to be at my entry price, I would set this break even to 0. But if I set it to a break even at 50, it's an offset. It says, okay, my entry price plus $50.
I see. So it kind of acts as a take profit?
No, it acts like a stop loss, but it's like an additional stop loss. I have my regular stop loss. That stop loss can be trailing. But then once I get to a certain level of profit, I might be like, I don't want to risk it. Let's say I had this here at, $2,000, right? If this trade really runs, I want to make sure that I lock in $1,000. That's what I want to make sure. Like I don't want to miss out on that.
Right. That
right?
seems like the
And you can,
smarter way to do. Why isn't everything like that? Seems like a smarter way to do it.
because you can end up hitting your break even sooner than you want. So it all depends on your strategy. That stuff works great for trend. If you're scalping, you don't want to do any of this. You don't want any
Okay.
trailing or anything like that. You just want the regular stop loss and take profit, and you want this fixed at a specific amount. I'm risking $100 to make $200, and I just want that to be the case. If you're scalping, but if you're not doing that and you're trending, you want these different mechanisms to lock in as much of the profit as possible, understanding that at the end you'll get a pullback and you'll give back some, but controlling where that give back is.
I see. I was listening to.
And,
go ahead.
well, I'll just do the last two things here. So you have a trailing for profit over here. So and this again for trailing strategies, I often see this be valuable where I don't want to. There's too much. Let's show you this way. Let's find a good trade. All right. So for trailing, sometimes you don't want to deal with once you're in enough profit, you might decide I want to use a trailing trigger. And what this does is that at this profit level, let me just find a trade to show it. Will be easier. Let's take off the stop loss. Take profit. Let's make that 1,000. And trailing trigger. We'll do that at. We'll just use a trailing trigger. Let's do this 500. Offset of 100. Okay, so let's see this trade over here. All right, so you see this trade over here. My take profit is set up here. But actually, let me replay it so you can see a little bit better. If you're in the trade, if that trade is currently active, you'll see here values showing you what the value of those levels are. So over here, what happens is that my take profit here is set up at $1,000 take profit. But you see this green dotted line here. If I cross that line, what'll happen is that if the price pulls back by the offset amount, if the price pulls back by $100 from here, so the high over here, it'll close the position, which I sometimes love, right? Because this allows you to capture, let's say, some big candle rockets up. You're in it and candles rocking it up. You don't want to be sitting there and like, okay, do I exit now or whatever? People like give back their entire profit sometimes. You might be like, if it runs up dramatically, then as soon as it pulls back a little bit, go ahead and exit my position. And that way you get to capture these amazing moves. And there's some strategies that people have where they're in the market, and then sometimes maybe 20% of the time, some big candle whips up because that's what the strategy is set up for, and you want to be able to capture as much of that profit as possible, and you'll get these equity curves that like stair step up, and they step up because they were there, they caught that trade perfectly, and they were able to take profits. So trailing offset is there for that. The final thing I want to mention is that we have a system here for sessions. So oftentimes, and I've talked about this a lot on Price Action Live, but I haven't shown it much, where you only want your strategy to run from certain times, and you want the trade to close automatically at the end of that session. So here we have an option here where you get to choose a session where you want those entry signals to trigger trades, and I could choose close in order to, at the close of that the 4 o'clock candle, it'll send a signal to end. So let me show you that here. Let me leave here. Strategy, is there any session end? Session end, okay. So over here, this trade was in a position, and then it ends automatically here at the session end. That's great for when you're dealing with me as a prompt firm trader. I want to make sure that my signal gets sent out the end. So I'll often set this to if I'm on, I'll set this to 345. And that way I know the close of the 345 candle, the signal will be sent. I don't have to worry about what happens at the end of the day, some run up, rebalancing, whatever. It'll end there. And I could have multiple different sessions. So I can have maybe this one, I want to trade only the 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then again from 1:30 to 2:30. Maybe those are the only times. But if you want the entire trading session, you just uncheck that and the trades will happen regularly throughout. All right. Well,
I gotta tell you,
that's what I
Tom.
wanted to show.
I gotta tell you, it looks like that to me looks like something you could sell. I'm just gonna say, like, what WTF?
So, yes, I thought about that. But even though I said at the beginning of the show, I just like to give people the least that they can. That's not true. I'm just joking
That's
around.
not the least.
And
Yeah, that's good.
no, yeah, and I just found that it really came from Adventure Trader, who was saying that he had to go and make a new strategy. He had to make a new strategy. I was like, wouldn't it be nice to give him something where he just had to think about the entry conditions? He uses this for the exits, and then he could just get a new strategy up and going. So he doesn't have to like bang his head against the wall on these different things. Because thinking through all this so that it works on your in PineScript, it looks simple over here. It's not simple. There's all kinds of complications where you have certain options on at given times and then conflict with others. I've spent time to like really get that clear. That's why it was hard to tell you at the beginning how long it took to make the script, because
Right.
this is, I know, this idea has been percolating around for, I guess, 2 months to try to get it to where I need it to be.
Well, I think you piqued his interest. He says he may use this next week and test it out. I'll keep you posted. Very nice of you, Tom. Very nice of you.
He says
Tom.
he was banging his head against the wall. Yeah, I could totally understand that.
I remember you used to tell me when you worked and did the whole SEO thing and building websites way back in the day, man, that seems like forever. You'd have people come and say, hey, it just took you an hour or whatever to make this website. Why I have to pay you $10,000 or whatever? What's the big deal? And you're like, no, you're paying me for the expertise of knowing this problem and that problem and avoiding this pitfall and that pitfall. Like, that's actually the expertise. On paper, something could look simple to accomplish from A to Z, but the where the expertise comes in is all the edge cases. I know John talks about that. All the edge cases. You propose an idea to John. Hey, add this to TradersPost. He's like, yeah, but it's going to have this and that. And it's going to push that. It's going to push that. It has all these downstream effects, these domino effects. So look, I don't usually gush about Tom, but I'm pretty impressed by what you just showed there. When you told me it was going to be a simple stream to show me this multi-VWAP crossover strategy, I was like, it's good. And then I see this whole thing, the time of day and trailing line. I'm like, what? Why are we not selling this? I don't understand.
I do it for the culture.
You do it for the culture. You do it for TradersPost. Are you done?
Well, I should just mention that my own version of this has a lot more features. Just to be transparent.
Where do you get
have
that?
A lot more features.
Is that available?
In my script, it does stuff like, stop losses, all the exit orders, when they exit, can trigger new orders because of it. So it reverses on stop loss, reverses on trails, does different things.
You mean like the bullish side swapping, whatever that TradersPost has? Something like that?
Exactly. Because I'll have strategies that after you exit a position, there's a little bit of juice on the other end. So it goes into another trade right after, picks up that juice. It has its own risk settings for those different things. It gets a little bit
Are you allowed to say where that is, where that's available?
It will become available on sacredprofit.com on my own personal website. It's not there at the moment because some of these things take a few months to iron out.
Totally. All right. Well, look, I know I can keep you here all day. We got other things to do, more development to do, more work to do. If you have nothing else, I'll sign us off.
Yeah, sounds good.
Folks, really appreciate you being here. Before you run away, could you just click like on the video? It helps the algorithm know that we're something that's worth watching. Really appreciate you being here. It really helps. We see the numbers of the people who are watching. We watch you in the chat. It really, really does help. Very much appreciate it. We've got a ton of other things happening on TradersPost. If you haven't checked it out yet, Price Action Live. You can see Tom and Mike trade the open 4 days a week, Tuesday to Friday. They do so using TradersPost. So you can see them using TradersPost, and they trade prop firm accounts. So you can go there, talk, trade with them. If you're trading, they would really like you to know, like you to tell them. That'd be wonderful for you to do. Blueprint happens every week at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Friday, we have an aftermarket commentary show where we're going to come together, shoot the breeze, talk about the market, talk about if we tilted, the things we learned, and just kind of hang out there. And then, of course, we have office hours on Tuesday.
I should mention that this code for this script is already available on GitHub at in the PineScript Agents project. because I use it in order to do it. And just the promise for everyone is when we make scripts on here, they're available in PineScript Agents because it makes PineScript Agents better and better and better and better and better. All right, that's why we do it. So it's already available there, and it will be available in the indicator library. Give it a day or two, and it'll be published online.
That's it for us. I've been Peter Hartman. That's been Tom Hartman. You've been watching TradersPost Blueprint here on TradersPost. We'll see you again soon. And as always, happy trading.
Happy trading.